everyone, my name's Alyse. Welcome back to another video. Today I got a deck profile from my second place at the Fargo regional that just happened today with none other than a deck that probably no one expect from me, Unchained. So this last week I've been kind of dreading, oh yeah, shout out to Brooke for letting me use the Baron map for the deck profile, but pumpkin. We just got home and the cats are antsy, but yeah. So the last week, I've just been kind of dreading what I want to play this format, and like I just have not liked any fucking deck. And it got to the point where like me and Lund were kind of theorying, and he brought up the Unchained deck because it can play through a lot of the like standardized hand traps that are being like played right now, like the books, the drolls, like all that stuff. Like the only thing that this deck really like takes a hard hit to is like Nib, but a lot of people aren't maining it, and like at the end of the day, like, Nib is Nib. So, like, I'd rather... It was testing fine, in theory, so I figured I might as well just give it a whirl. I literally decided last second yesterday, and quick got all the cards, and played 0 games before round 1 of the regional, but, we made it work. So, yeah, just quick shout outs before we get into it. Shout out to my sponsor, Ophidian Accessories. Use code Ophidian5 for 5% off your entire purchase for some of the cheapest cloth mats on the market that are very nice quality. They're releasing new designs every week, and they're going to have some really cool stuff coming up in the future, so make sure you go follow them. Everything's down below. Shout out to Walter for letting me borrow all the cards last second. Pumpkin. I love you, bud. Yeah, he's a goat. Shout out to Shreen for letting me tour guides because he wanted me to not be poor. Then shout out to Lund Jib. Jib gave me like the baseline for the deck, and then me and Lund kind of like theoried it out for like an hour last night, and got to the point where I felt kind of comfortable with it. And then shout out to the homies back home, Lang, Alan, David, everyone. Lang helped me also theory last second, so really appreciate them. And then shout out to my lovely girlfriend Brooke, best girlfriend. Love her lots. Shout out to Ethan for being awesome. And then shout out to the Lost Zone, best locals in Minnesota. And if for some reason you want coaching from me for some reason, there's a link to my Metafied down below, or you can just DM me on Twitter. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. So for the Unchained monsters, I'll just lay them all at once and I'll kind of explain as I go. So 3 Aruha, 1 Rakea, 1 Sarama for the twins, and then for the souls, we got 3 of red dude, I don't fucking know how to pronounce it. 1 Shrama and 1 Abominable. So I guess we'll go over the twins first. So this is standard. I know people are kind of like back and forth on what they want for these numbers. After I play today, I probably do want the second, but I just don't know what I would have for space, because I'll kind of get into it when I get to my non-engine, how I approached wanting to deck build this. And then, but I think only 1 Rakea is needed. And then I don't play the like the original Blue Dog, just because it's not really like as progressive as you want it to be, and I think that like at the end of the day, you're probably just better off playing more non-engine or other stuff. I think with like your link monsters and whatnot, you can typically get to enough of the resources that you want, and like the be able to like link away all their stuff without needing to play it, which then makes like your deck overall more consistent and like have more potent hands overall. And I just wanted to like limit the amount of bricks I had. So yeah, I felt fine with this. Yeah, just like the only thing I would change is maybe try and fit a second Sarama. I just don't know how yet, but I think once I get even more used to the grind of the deck, I probably don't feel like I'll need a second, but I think it's fine. Then 3 Tour Guide, 1 Rhino. I did almost cut these just because I felt like the deck was consistent enough, and I think it was even like when I didn't see Tour Guide, but the absolute blah like that you get from this, and just like the ceiling of your deck increases so much, and then your consistency goes up too. And I was still able to fit in 15 non-engine even while still playing this, so I still felt comfortable playing this package. And I think it just like adds so much to the deck that I'd rather not have these cards like out of my deck. So they were good. Then for non-engine, 3 Ash, 3 Droll, 3 Nib, 3 book, and 3 imperm. So I think everything is like really standard right now besides Nib. I know Nib is like half standard, kind of back and forth. But the way I looked at it is I felt like with the other non-engine and then coupled with my side deck, I felt like I was going to have enough for like the biggest worries, which would be like Pearly and Cash, and then Nib is also good against Cash. So I wanted something that kind of respected like Manadium and like any of the synchro piles, just because I don't want to get FTK'd. So I made the concession to play Nib just because I felt like it was overall like the best thing, and then like my side can help me more with Pearly, or like I think the Pearly matchups, I think every matchup for this deck is pretty okay. I don't think there's anything that's like too terrible, so I definitely was okay with these cards. Didn't feel like I needed anything more in the main deck, but that's it for monsters and non-engine. Random spells, Prison, weird, and then 3 Prosperity, also weird. I don't think there's a better consistency card. And for traps, got 3 Escape and 2 Chamber. So we made the last second concession to cut this. I know like that's something people are kind of cutting too, and originally I wanted it because I like being able to see both traps and guarantee I set both, but it just made it so I could fit in more non-engine, and the deck still felt consistent enough with 5 traps, and especially with being able to like pop Prison to do the exact same thing. If you want to like play around roll, you'll just pop Prison instead and you'll still like get the same result. So I think cutting this to 2 is fine, especially since like you don't always want to see it every time, and you can kind of just control when you see it. So I think that was fine, and Escape's insane. So that's it for the main deck, 40 cards, weird. For extra deck, 3 Yama, I think you need to play 3. 2 Rage, I never felt like I needed another one. Like, a lot of the time, I was playing second a lot today because, like, so, like, in this tournament, the only games I lost were, games that I just misplayed entirely on and, like, were my fault for losing. So, the rage factor, or the grind factor of Rage just didn't feel like it warranted, like, more copies of it, and, like, I usually didn't have to go into it that much, and, like, the off chance I want to die roll or something, so I didn't go first that much in, like, post side, so I think 2 is perfectly fine. Then the 1 Anguish, I kind of wish I could have played a second, because, like I said, I played second a lot, and, like, this helps you, like, crack through boards, and, like, there's some bridges that, like, help with this that I think the second would have come up, but I decided to like play other utility and just take the risk, and I mean it was fine, but I do want to try and fit the second one in at some point. And then the 1 Abomination, yeah. And then for random utility, Muckraker, never summoned it, but I think you need it. Unicorn, I only summoned it because I didn't have access to another Anguish, but I otherwise never used it. Access Code, never used it. Underworld Goddess, I wanted it for Pearly and like other random things, but I never used it. Oh, well, but I think it should be there. And then the Caesar, and then the, I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this is, because I never summoned either of them, and I never summoned Zeus. Because your deck can just naturally take apart boards anyways, and I just don't feel like these, like I was already considering cutting these 2 to begin with, but I just wanted to be on the safe side and thought I was going to have enough utility factor without having to play other stuff. And like I said, I think the only thing that majorly came up was like the second Anguish, but I don't think it was like completely necessary, but I think going forward I would consider it. So yeah, that's it for the extra deck. Side deck, 3 Bell and 3 Mourner. I think I might change this for Crow in the future. I mean, this card's fine. I wanted to respect Lab a little bit more, but if the Mirror is going to pick up in Traction and I want like a little bit more for Pearly, then I think this could easily be Crow. Mourner was just because nothing else felt really, because I wanted an additional thing for any of the synchro decks, because otherwise, like, my only other thing in the side deck would have been like Eclipse, and like I don't think Bell is that great against a lot of the synchro decks. It's fine, but I'd rather have like something a little bit more concrete. So Mourner felt good. Definitely liked having that in my deck. And then for other random stuff, oh, peanuts. We got the 3 Eclipse. I think this is kind of like a little bit of a necessity. This card's good. Then 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Duster. Since I didn't really have any other back removal, I felt like the Blowout was going to be fine, but this could easily be Cosmic or MST. Just depends on what you want to do. I think they're fine. And then for the last card, 3D Barrier. I never sided this in, but I think you need it. Like I said, I only went first once post-side today, so like, and it was against Sprite, Live Twin, Runic, so obviously I'm not going to put the card in. Yeah, I don't think anything else was necessary. So, yeah, that is it for the deck list. Also, shout out to the kitties. They're adorable. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out all my social media links down below. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.